and welcome to tonight's episode of Keep the Bad Guys Away. Hey guys, one thing that law enforcement does, these big bullies in law enforcement, what they do is they like to withhold information from you, especially when you're a victim of terrorism like me. And they do this as part of mental abuse because, everybody, and once they find out that they either can't reach, family or friends, can't reach people, see, that would cause mental distress, mental anguish. It would cause pain and suffering mentally. So this is one of the things that they do within the United States, at least, is that they withhold information on family in an attempt to mentally abuse you. So, a couple years ago, Deputy Jennifer of the U.S. Marshal Service told me to make missing persons reports to my family. She could have done that herself. I don't want to hear anything about we don't have jurisdiction. You're a United States Marshal. That was a dump that bullshit on Sue's. But anyway, it's my family and I know you don't care. So I made the missing persons reports the best that I possibly could. So when I made it up to Rochester, New York PD, which I had to make this whole damn website, to show all these damn documents. Rochester PD calls me back when I'm working in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Literally, I'm up at 6:15 in the morning. I get this phone call. This is the Rochester, New York Police Department. Is this Susan Knisely? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, call the marshals. So I don't really know what that means. So then, talk about shocked. I'm like, okay, first I thought, okay, they killed my cousin. Second of all, I thought, why the hell do I have to call the marshals? And then I'm like, well, what the hell? Well, why do I have to call the marshals? And what the hell's going on with my goddamn family? And then I'm thinking to myself, what marshals do I call? I didn't know if I should call the marshals in Albuquerque, New Mexico that had already blown me off, or if I needed to call another marshal. So I had to go through that pain and suffering too. I mean, it's bad enough you get somebody to tell you to make missing persons reports, and then they call you back, the PD dumps everything back on you, and then you got to figure out who the heck to dump it on, So then, I take time out of my damn day, and I had to call the marshals up there in Buffalo and talk to Brian Matthews and try to explain this damn stuff. And I'm not even, I don't even know criminal nomenclature, and I had to try to explain this to the second in charge of the U.S. Marshal Service. So then I get a phone call back from Special Agent Phil Roney, and I take a couple hours of my time. First of all, he interrupts me when I'm at work, working in the ICU, and I get a phone call from him, and I have to go out. Take a break, go out, tell him I'll call him back. I can't talk about this stuff at work. I go over this whole damn case with him a couple of years ago, go into every single last fucking goddamn thing I could possibly think of. And what the hell's he done for me? Nothing. Anytime I have a fucking problem, I have to call Special Agent Paul Burkholder down in Houston. ICE Customs found him for me. And I can tell you right now, if I had not spoken up at the airport in Houston, Texas, and had ICE Customs find me Special Agent Paul Burkholder, I wouldn't even be alive today to be making this video. I mean, I can tell, I was very, very clear to Special Agent Phil Roney how dangerous this Mark Moore was. I think he sicked him on me on purpose. I told him, I said, I think they traded the kids. He promised me he'd find my mom. He hasn't done shit for me. I yelled at him about a no-fly list, and apparently, see, he's supposed to have jurisdiction over me because I conducted this interview, and he hasn't done jack fucking shit. Don't call me, Roney, and get off my goddamn case. And trust me, I'll never call you again either. I told him all about Wendy DeVita Rosen. Apparently this has happened to her too. She's another victim of terrorism like me. Apparently she's had family information withheld from her for many, 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 many years. Now, I told Agent Roney about her. Now, apparently she's been used as a federal informant before. She had trouble for years reaching her kids in Iowa, and there was a whole scam. I think she was being manipulated. See, I think Wendy, even though she has a tendency to fuck me over, I think she's being manipulated to fuck me over. But somehow my iPod Touch got taken at this Chrysalis domestic violence shelter in Arizona. But then when her and I were at this coffee shop, she was able to find her daughters on Facebook, and she hadn't been able to find her daughters on Facebook for like a really, really long time, and somehow was able to make that connection, with them. And then when I was working in Edinburgh Regional Medical Center, in Edinburgh, Texas, a couple years ago, I actually called her daughters, and I was trying to explain to them, I'm like, girl, I got the same problem as your mom does, and I started explaining, we all got a similar situation, we got to really try to stick together here, and it's like, it was really hard. I could tell that her kids were really, really fucked up over this whole thing, and it's basically because of law enforcement abuse law enforcement mental sanctions. So, I mean, her kids are fucked up. Law enforcement has totally destroyed her whole entire, this whole thing. Between the terrorists and law enforcement, they have totally used, because they use Wendy. See, you gotta understand. They use Wendy DeVita Rosen. And so they fuck everything up in her life so she doesn't have any connections. And see, the fact that her kids and her have this, like, conflict based on, a decade of crime, a couple decades of crime or whatever, see, that's further discord. But that's what I'm saying, that they do this. They do this. Law enforcement will deliberately withhold information. I mean, she hadn't, had communicated with her daughters apparently in a long time. Now, what, Special Agent Phil Roney, he has a right, it is not his job to be withholding with information on my family up there in Rochester. It is not not the Rochester PD shouldn't be doing it, neither should the marshals. When I came here to Marysville, California, I called the police. And I asked them what the heck to do about this. They asked me if I had a report number. I'm like, no, I don't have a report number. And apparently I'm supposed to have a report number. I don't have a report number. And so I was called up there to Rochester PD recently, and they're just like, oh, we'll call the marshals. I'm like, you know what? God damn you. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? The hell, dude, you need to be telling me where my family is. I called the marshals up there. I called Charles Salina. You think I get anything back? No. And I called Special Agent Phil Roney. That's what I said. I was like, I don't even want to talk to New York anymore. All they goddamn do is freaking blame me for all their goddamn freaking law enforcement goddamn freaking bullshit that apparently for whatever the hell fucking reason they didn't know about. I get punished because of what happened to my cousins up there in Rochester, New York. My Brady Bunch cousins, and I got that damn district who's apparently carrying some kind of jurisdiction over me, punishing me for their bullshit, their little friends' bullshit. I'm telling you, it's the MPs. On a lot of this stuff, it's the MPs. Because, I'm telling you, I would not be alive today had I not spoken up at the airport down in Houston. I would not be alive had Customs not gotten me Special Agent Paul Burkle, or there's a little QA on this. You guys are sick and disgusting in the Western District of New York. It's just as bad as goddamn Nevada. I'm so glad I took time out of my day to, go over a whole mishandled damn jackass fucking case with you, Roney. Shit that you should have fucking known about in your goddamn professional capacity. Same thing with the whole damn rest of your damn region. And then you're not even finding my mom. Where the hell's my mother? I'm getting a phone call about my mom out of Nevada, and I gotta go to another law enforcement agency because obviously you're not doing shit. Because if you were doing something, you'd be calling me and telling me you're, giving me an update, and you're not. You're doing it on purpose. But this is one thing that law enforcement does in America. If they have jurisdiction over you, they can just do whatever the hell they want when it comes to terrorism. They just take away your damn rights, and they just fuck with you, and they just throw you around like a goddamn fucking piece of meat, and they just use you, and they tell you all the other law enforcement friends to just use you. You wait. When I find out about my cousins at Roney, you know what? And I'll probably find it out from another law enforcement agency, and it should be coming from damn you or the marshals up there. Or Rochester PD. But I have a feeling I'm going to find out about my cousins from somebody else. So that's law enforcement abuse in the United States. They apparently are allowed to get away with this under the Patriot Act. They take away your bullshit rights under the Patriot Act. They do it to mentally fucking hurt you. That's why I hate the fucking United States of America, and I can't wait. I'm telling you, the next time I leave, I'm not coming back. It's tonight's episode. Keep the bad guys away. I'll see you next time.